you have any thistles in your life? Hey friends, it's Pastor Mike from Fellowship Church. Always love to connect with you midweek. Hope you're enjoying this wonderful spring-like weather. Hope you know that we love you and we're praying for you. That question for you again, do you have any thistles in your life? Well, friends, with this spring-like weather, it certainly won't be long, and you and I will be working in our yards. And as soon as you start working in your yard, you'll find a few weeds out there. And one of the more common weeds that grows here in our part of the country is the thistle. Did you know those thistles are not native to the U.S.? They're originally native to Scotland or Ireland. So if you find a thistle in your yard, you just find a Scottish person and tell them thank you. When I was a kid, we called them prickers. There's over 50 varieties of thistles found in the U.S. Some of them grow as tall as 8 feet. I'm glad I don't have one of those in my yard. But I found in my yard, thistles are really hard to get rid of. You can spray those things with Roundup and they just drink it like Kool-Aid and ask for more. Here's an interesting thing about thistles though. Scientists have found that for the average thistle weed, for every 1-inch diameter of the weed, the root is a 3-inch long root. Thistles have tap roots. It's one root that goes straight down, and then sometimes they have secondary roots that branch out, but that tap root can grow pretty deep. So if you have a thistle that's maybe, say 4 or 5 inches in your yard, the root that goes straight down is over 1 foot long. And if you don't get the whole root, it just grows back. That's the amazing thing about thistles. They're really hard to kill because if you don't kill the whole tap root, they just keep growing back. Well, that's really nice, Mike. I didn't know we were going to talk about thistles in my yard. What's that got to do about my walk of faith? Well, friends, we're in the season of the year that we call Lent. Lent is a season of preparation, a time of preparing our hearts. We are in that season of Lent. It culminates with Holy Week. Holy Week then culminates with Easter. Hallelujah. But in the meantime, we're trying to do a little investigation in our heart, and here's something I've learned. A lot of sins function like thistles. Yeah, you can see them on the outside and they don't look very nice on the outside. They're kind of prickly even. And when you find a thistle sin in your life, your first thought is, I need to get rid of that. So the kind of natural response is, let's just pick it right now. But if you just pick it, it'll just come back. Because what you see at the surface level, what you see on the outside is not the whole sin. Thistles, like sins, have a taproot. And sometimes that taproot grows a long way. And the interesting thing about thistles is that the older they get, the bigger they get. Same thing happens with sins. So if there's a sin, some area of disobedience or rebellion in your life, and if you've been failing to deal with it as time has gone by, maybe you've just become pretty comfortable with it and it's just become part of life, friends, you can expect that that sin is going to have a pretty deep taproot. Hey, Mike, where are you getting all these ideas from about sins and taproots and everything? Well, Hebrews chapter 12 tells us that let no root of bitterness grow up to cause trouble or defile many. Makes it sound like sin is like a taproot, and it goes deep. And if you don't get the whole taproot, you'll just be fighting that same thistle above ground again and again and again. So friends, if you find yourself during this season of Lent, taking some kind of an inventory of your life, and you find a few thistles somewhere on the outside, you got to dig kind of deep to get to the bottom of that taproot. Because if you don't deal with the root, it'll just come back again and again and again, causing trouble and defiling many. That biblical definition sounds pretty serious to me. So friends, be prepared to dig a little deep sometimes when you're trying to get rid of the thistles in your life. I hope that makes sense to you. It makes a lot of sense to me. It tells me something about the sin that can be in my own life, that's for sure. And I hope maybe this year when you're working in your yard, you might find a few thistles and think that maybe it's time to deal with some stuff in your life. I hope you have a wonderful week. Know that we love you. We care about you. We're praying for you. Have a great week. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.